Good morning from the studio. What a quick transition. I just dashed over from the red carpet because I have a very exciting guest and I believe you are catching a plane today.
I am.
So we made everything possible.
Thank you.
Next to me is Johan Roos. He is a presidential advisor at Hult International Business School. He is also the co-inventor of Lego Serious Play, which we might touch upon later because we have some things lined up here. And he's also, congratulations are due, the newly appointed executive director for the Vienna Center for Management Innovation. So congratulations, Johan.
Well, thank you.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well after such a wonderful gala event last night. Who could not feel fantastic?
That's wonderful to hear. So lovely to have you. So the Vienna Center for Management Innovation, I believe some people who are listening know it, others might not. Can you tell us more about the center and also how it connects to the Drucker Forum?
Yes, sure. Using my hands.
Actually, just so you know, I before we started the interview, I just left a bag of Legos with Johan and something came out of it. So this is what's happening.
I can't help but think with my hands as well.
Exactly.
So here we have, you can say the Drucker Forum is sort of an amazing platform. And you can think of it almost like it's there's some foundations here, and this is sort of an opening to the world, and there's like these amazing possibilities out there, and a lot of people and a lot of activities out here as well. All right. The Vienna Center, and this is an annual event, and as you know, 500 plus people are coming from all over the world every year to do this. So there's a very warm and welcoming network of people coming here and sharing some things. The Vienna Center, you could say, is a integrated idea to have something that is more ongoing, rather than sort of an annual with lots of activities during the years. But this would be more the stable, action-oriented think tank, you can think of it as to do that. And the idea is to basically, what should we call it, like cast some nets out there, and nets based on some shared understanding here about what we're doing. And maybe there's some people and of all kinds, individuals and institutions who want to take part of both learning and discovering, doing research, doing all kinds of community building. So we're currently in the process of talking with people, building, you can say, a coalition of the excited and the willing who want to be part of this. All, you could say, under the banner of what we call the next management. All right? I'll stop there, otherwise I'll talk for hours.
Wonderful illustration, and this, network of the excited, is that what you call them? Who are these people that you're reaching out to?
These are both individuals. These could be executives. We have a fantastic group of very impressive, busy CEOs who are part of this, and because the whole idea of next management really came from practice. And we have a group of executives. We have also a group of, you can say, individuals are doing either research or are sort of in positions where they are working on management. And we have scholars as well, and we have then institutions as well, both in academia and in between. You can say both private, public, and sort of civil institutions that we want to work with. So all of this is sort of as I said, an emerging coalition of people excited about the next management, excited about this platform that the Drucker Forum and Richard Straub and his team has created over so many years. So this is, we will do things here, we will use this and leverage, and there will be inspiration from here coming back in. So it's a nice sort of, I'll just put this as sort of an in-betweenness here of doing things, right?
Thanks so much for elaborating on that, and it makes me excited to see what's coming up. Under your new chair, what will the new priorities be? So what are some of the things we can see emerging out of the center?
So a couple of priorities or a couple of things we're doing right now. First of all, we have an expert group actually working on what we call the next management, and whether that's an idea, a concept, a model, a framework, it doesn't matter. It's sort of something that is evolving, and we have some fantastic scholars in the world and people working on it who are actively developing this concept and debating and arguing and so forth. So it's beautiful to see how that's gradually shaping into something more concrete. Another project we're working on is, you can say, almost the contrary. and that is to work with people who are very good at finding measures or indicators of things. So we're working with the Burning Glass Institute in the US, for example, in a collaborative project to say, like, what if we have some of these principles here being, how do we get those into practice, and how do we indicate progress? And I'm saying indicate rather than precisely measure. How do we kind of work that way? And that's sort of an 18-month project that we're launching with them on identifying, illustrating, testing out indicators for this, so we can eventually actually measure progress, and organizations themselves can measure progress or direction on this thing as well. So these are two examples. We're also working with a group of very impressive people from India who have reached out, and we are connecting very well with, because their beliefs is very similar. And as they are saying, there's a lot of companies in India who are not super happy with the current way of management and theories of management, coming from very Western ideas. And they are saying that India is not waiting. We want to do something new. So we're connecting with them, and a very large Indian family-owned companies, for example, to see how we can help and combine sort of Indian traditions and way of thinking with these more Western traditions, and into a sort of a next management that is also context appreciative and context specific for certain situations. So those are just some examples. And we're also working on, you can say, the future of business education, but that's a little bit down the road.
Okay. You're really casting your net not just in Vienna, like the name suggests, but really internationally, which is wonderful.
Absolutely. We're using the Vienna term because of, as we learned from Richard Crockett, of course, that Vienna is sort of traditionally a fantastic center of ideas and intellectualism, and we want to really leverage that as
and continue the tradition. I think that's important.
Absolutely.
Speaking of the gala dinner yesterday, Richard Crockett, and yesterday, what are some of your main takeaways from the forum so far, and how has it maybe also evolved your model? Is there something concrete that you're going to build into the work where you were like yesterday, this is interesting?
I've been working or participating in the forum as a volunteer in various capacities since, I believe, 2012. I believe it's 2012. At least I have a bag at home. It's Drucker Forum 2012. It might be 2011. And I'm always impressed and blown away by the pure interest of people here. That every year a lot of people are coming here, and they're very excited, and they come together in this sort of spirit of some of the core ideas of Peter Drucker, which is about human centricity, treating people with respect, and organizations are important for society, and management is a fantastic role that should do even more for society. So that is a reinforcement that this is good. This is the right thing. This is a good thing. And that's always beautiful to get that reinforcement. And then you can say the network of the forum is growing as well, of different kinds of organizations, different kinds of people, positions, roles, jobs. That's also very, very nice. In terms of the topic of this year, I think it was really well received. The future of knowledge work within the theme of next management seemed to have hit the chord very well. A lot of different views and opinions and angles to it. I think we had 25 different angles on this, and it's ongoing. So I think that's very, very positive. Now the challenge is, like, what's the next step here? And we've already do that, and Richard would say a few words about that at the end of today. But this is, for me, it's reinforcement, it's meeting new people, it's building the coalition of the excited, and I just came from a breakfast with people from more academic organizations, and they seem pretty excited.
Coalition of the excited.
Yes.
It continues to grow at the forum.
Yes.
Let's do a small switch from the center to what we have here. I'd like to ask you a little bit more about your past, because some of you might be wondering, why are we playing with Legos? What is happening here? Johan is actually a co-inventor of a method called Lego Serious Play. I'm also a Lego Serious Play facilitator, and when I heard that you're one of the co-inventors, I was like, wow, starstruck. Can you explain to us why we are using our hands? Why is this important?
The worst way to learn is to sit on your hands and just listen to somebody. the best way to learn is to engage various senses. I think that's pretty normal. It's like what we do in kindergarten, and then we tell the kids to shut up and listen in school, which is not very good.
Yeah.
So it's the same spirit. It's nothing revolutionary. It's the same spirit of using your hands, and when you're using your hands, neurons are firing in your brains in different way than just when you sit on them, because we have a lot of senses in our fingers and hands. So that's one idea. The other idea is that there's a tradition in adjacent field in the humanistic field called creative arts and creative arts therapy as well, with Carl Rogers, Natalie Rogers, even Carl Jung, and that is like it actually works. It hits something inside us when we start to sort of model it. And this is based on what theories of constructivism, constructionism, and all of that. But the idea is that when you model things, you actually see things different. You can actually create and express it. It's like art. You express yourself.
A story as well.
You can create new knowledge alone or together, or you can create entirely new perspective to think things. I can rotate this and I can have a look at it and I say, oh, that means next management. All right, it's our common platform. It's a window to the world. So I can express this. So this is something I worked on when I was a professor at IMD in the late 90s with a colleague called Bart Victor. And I suggested, in a sense, we should start to do something. And we got an opportunity to do this. So I ran around with Lego sets in the serious executive education. People thought I was a little bit oddball. But eventually, I believed so much in this that I quit that job to set up an organization to develop some of the concepts and ideas around this. And Lego decided to give us some slack. And they were also astonished. Could you use this as a tool, as a language to build stories, to build powerful narratives, and to express yourself, even in serious context? And when we did this with a very, at that time, a super sort of formal leadership team in a big company, I know the CEO, then suddenly things open up. We could show that it actually has some work. And you can say the rest is history. It's taken on its own life. I think we did it 15 years too early, because now it's suddenly on the hype curve of Gartner in the US 25 years later. But it's a powerful way, and I'm absolutely thrilled. There are thousands and thousands of certified facilitators like you out there doing this for tens of thousands of people. So I'm mind-blowing. I'm still chairing an annual conference on this, and I help develop new applications.
Wonderful.
For this as well, on change, purpose, reframing, and all of that, in addition to the early strategy things we developed. So anyway, so it's just a cool thing, and I'm very proud of it.
So I hope you do also bring it into your coalition of the excited to prototype some new ideas.
Yes, and it's like team building is a side effect, but it's a fantastic tool to be very effective and efficient and responsible in the way of looking at things, very serious things as well. Strategy for one thing.
It's been such a pleasure to talk to you and hear all of the exciting things that are coming up from the Vienna Center for Management Innovation, and to share a little bit more about Lego Serious Play. Thank you so much for joining me in the studio. I hope you have a really nice flight back home, or wherever you're going.
I'm going to my son's PhD ceremony in Stockholm.
Lovely.
Have to do that.
Thank you so much for taking the time on such an important day. And with this, we close the interview, and I say thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Johan.